did I have to miss school that day? Of all the days to miss out, I missed the day that we had to choose which gym elective to take. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guest. Maybe I had a good reason, and I was actually sick. But it's also possible that I hadn't finished my homework or there was a test I wasn't ready for. After 9 weeks of health class, we could choose between weightlifting and aerobics. I think we know which one Eric would have picked. I assumed wrongly that Mr. Rush would sign me up for aerobics. He didn't. He signed me up for the one he taught. I think he regretted that. I wasn't the only girl in weightlifting class. 2 others signed up on purpose, and I could see why, surrounded by all those muscle-building boys. We started by learning the equipment. First up was squats. There was a chart on the wall with the strongest lifters in school. To try it out, we needed to wear the right equipment. Mr. Rush directed each student to grab one of the belts from on the wall. I tried them on, but none fit. And in case you get the wrong idea, they were too big. So Mr. Rush cut a notch in the smallest one so I could tighten the belt. That was his first clue that things were not going to be easy with me in his class. Soon after, I told my mom my arm hurt, and she insisted I wrap it. Now, before you think I was actually injured, she would make me wrap everything. Any complaint? Let's wrap it up. I explained that to Mr. Rush when I walked in the room bandaged, but he still freaked out. Said he'd have to file an accident report and I should let him know if I ever had an injury. Strike one. Now, I know I'm combining weightlifting with baseball terms, but weightlifting doesn't have a lot of terms. I dressed in the locker room with all my friends from aerobics, the class I would have chosen. They had to cross the hall to get to class. I had to pass the boys' locker room, the courtyard entrance, and still walk down the hall. The third time I was late, Mr. Rush, as he was being a sentry, handed me a paper to take to the office and closed the door in my face. Strike two. I explained the situation to the vice principal. He signed the paper and sent me back. Simple as that. My favorite machine was the leg press. I could press more than anyone else in class. Well, the same as one other boy, and none of the big lifters were in our class, but still. I read an article a few years ago that said the leg press was one of the most useless pieces of equipment in a gym. It was like the one I was good at. However, I could have told that article writer that that is how I move furniture across the room. I lie on my back and kick it down. I'm under the center of gravity, so the item stays stable and I don't have to take off that much. Win-win. So my legs were strong, but my arms, not so much. We went from machine to machine in groups of 4. I had one on my right, one on my left, and someone behind me. I laid on the bench with a spotter on each side and one behind me. For each person, weights were either removed or added based on their strength. I tried with 5-pound weights. That's what Julie had lifted. The 55-pound bar didn't budge, so they removed the weights. The 50-pound bar with only the collars still was too heavy. The third try was the single 45-pound bar. I was doing it, but I needed extra strength, so I lifted my leg. Instead of going up, I went to the ground past all 3 spotters. Strike 3. No one was hurt, but that was it. Mr. Rush said I had to do my workouts alone in the big machine, multi-station total gym in the corner, the most expensive equipment. I moved the pins and worked with the pulleys and counted the days until I could return to aerobics class. But I made the best of it and worked on toning. I'm not sure who was more thankful when the quarter ended, me or Mr. Rush. But 3 things I learned from that experience. 1, weakness is strength. Though my arms aren't strong, my legs are sometimes able to compensate, and it's okay to ask for help. 2, margin brings peace. I learned to leave the locker room before my friends in aerobics to make it to my own class on time. And 3, I can make the best of the things I don't choose, and I may even end up with a story to tell. Mr. Toastmaster.